If you've spent the last decade building what you thought was a perfect career, only to find your resume disappearing into a black hole lately, I want you to stop for a second. Because the problem isn't your resume, it's not your skills, and it's definitely not your work ethic. You're likely being flagged by a system that no longer values what you've done, but what you can unlearn. I've been talking to a lot of senior colleagues lately who are hitting a wall of silence. They have 15, 20 years of wins, but the phone isn't ringing. If you're in that situation right now, have you noticed that shift? That feeling that the rules changed while you were busy working? Here's the data that most people aren't seeing yet. AI-driven hiring platforms are now 30% more likely to filter out candidates over the age of 40, regardless of how well they match the job description. We've seen a 133% surge in ageism reports and employee reviews over just the last year. And for experienced workers, the average job search has stretched to over 6 months. It's frustrating, it's exhausting, but it's not random. There's a hidden logic at work here, and once you see it, everything changes. So if the algorithms are actively filtering out the very experience we were told to build, what is the hidden logic they're actually looking for? Here's the hard truth. In the eyes of a 2026 hiring algorithm, your 15 years of subject matter expertise isn't necessarily viewed as an asset anymore. To a machine, it looks like a weight. It looks like habitual obsolescence. Recruiters today aren't just looking for what you know, they're terrified that your deep expertise means you have 10 years of bad habits that you won't be able to break. Let that number sit for a second. 92% of Fortune 500 companies are now using AI specifically to score you for agility potential, rather than your historical achievements. They aren't looking at what you did in 2018. They're looking for evidence that you can pivot your entire workflow in 2026. This is why we're seeing the time to hire for legacy senior roles spike to 83 days. Companies are hesitant. They're taking a wait-and-see approach because 37% of them are already planning to replace those expensive legacy roles with AI-fluent specialists, who might have less experience but move 10 times faster. In this new reality, experience is the anchor. But here's the thing. Some veterans are figured out how to cut the line. They're landing roles with $400,000 packages, while everyone else is stuck in that 83-day waiting room. How are they doing it? I want to tell you about a marketing VP I know. 15 years in the game, she was making $200,000 and couldn't get a callback for 6 months. She did something radical. She deleted VP from her headline. She stopped calling herself an expert in brand strategy and rebranded herself as an AI transformation lead for mid-cap firms. She didn't change her past, she changed her presentation. Within 3 months, she moved from that stalled $200,000 salary to a $480,000 fractional consultant role. And it's not just the veterans. I recently saw a software engineer with only 4 years of experience reach a $455,000 total compensation package. How he didn't just write code. He mastered AI agentic workflows to replace an entire team of 5 legacy developers on a critical project. These people didn't just get lucky. They tapped into the agility dividend. Workers who successfully pivot to these AI-fluent archetypes are seeing an average jump in compensation of 43 to 60% within a single year. They stopped being experts and started being systems architects. They realized that deleting their old titles was the only way to double their value. This is where it gets really interesting. These success stories aren't about working more hours. They're about a fundamental shift in what the market actually pays for. We are moving out of an era where your value was calculated as time multiplied by knowledge. In that old world, the person who had been there the longest was the most valuable. But today, value is speed of adaptation. Subject matter has become a commodity. If the AI can summarize the industry logic in 3 seconds, then knowing the answer isn't worth a premium salary anymore. What's worth a premium is judgment. There is a 56% salary premium right now for roles that require AI integration skills. We're seeing a 40% increase in judgment roles, people whose job is to audit and verify what the AI produces rather than doing the execution themselves. There is now a 2.1 times pay gap between senior AI specialists and traditional subject matter experts in the same industry. Think about that. A 27-year-old with AI agility can out-earn a 20-year veteran simply by moving 10 times faster and exercising better judgment over the output. Now, this is the part that changes everything. The gap is wide, but it is bridgeable. You don't need a new degree, you need a new lens. You need to move your career from linear growth to exponential value. So, how do you actually start doing that tomorrow morning? This isn't about working harder. It's about a system-level reset of how you present your value to the world. If you want to capture that 28% agility premium, you have to prove you have zero Vaseline thinking. Step 1. Clean your profile. It sounds counterintuitive, but you need to strategically remove legacy certifications that signal you're anchored in the past. If you're leading with a PMP or an MBA from a decade ago without mentioning AI-augmented workflows, you look heavy and slow to an algorithm. Step 2. Reframe your outcomes. Stop talking about the headcount you managed. Start talking about the system-level outcomes you achieved using AI agents. Show that you can build a process from scratch without being anchored to how we did it in 2019. Step 3. Prove your agility. Your headline shouldn't be your job title. It should be the problem you solve with modern tools. I've seen this play out 100 times. The secret isn't your past, it's how fast you can build the future. I'm genuinely curious. What's the one thing you're going to change about your professional presentation this week? Is it the headline, the resume, or the way you talk about your experience? Update that headline. Prove your agility. Let's get you that dividend. I'll see you in the next chat.